I just invested $1,300 in these 3 stocks, and in today's video I will explain you my rationale behind these investments. Now, before we begin, just reminding you that nothing in this video is investment advice, okay? Anyway, our first stock of the day is a very special name. It is a $10 million microcap company that operates like the Uber of personal data. And this is something quite new. I haven't found anyone else doing that. This company is called Reklaim, and its shares trade on the TSX Venture under the ticker MYID and on the US OTC market under MYIDF. And I bought $700 around here at 7 cents. But what does this company do in the first place? Well, you probably know that when we browse the internet, we leave a huge trail of data behind, right? That info in turn gets collected and then sold to third parties. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of getting spam emails and calls trying to sell me something. That only happens because someone got my data out there somehow, right? The point is, our personal data is floating on the internet and no one has a clue what's being done with it. This way, wouldn't it be better if we had control over our own data? Well, indeed, and that's what Reklaim allows us to do, take back control of our personal data. That's why Reklaim's ticker symbol is MYID, my identity. Through Reklaim's app, you can scan the internet to discover what personal data of yours is being shared online. And once you see this, you can then choose what to do with it. So, you can keep it private, or you can monetize your data by selling it to companies, all with your consent. And of course, Reklaim takes a percentage of your earnings, just like Uber takes a cut from the ride made by the driver. So that's the problem Reklaim solves, which is the lack of privacy we have when it comes to our own data. But then you might ask me, who would buy our data on an app when it's possible to get free data out there? Well, many companies, because you see, a tectonic shift is happening in the digital privacy industry. Several laws are being introduced in the US that require companies to get people's consent before using their data. This has already happened in Florida, California, Virginia, and several other US states. Thus, the days of our data floating around without our permission are coming to an end. The thing is that these laws create a big problem for companies because to stay compliant, they need to collect user consent on a massive scale. And guess which platform allows them to do that? Reklaim. So at its core, Reklaim is a marketplace that connects sellers of personal data, who are the users themselves, to buyers of personal data, which are companies that need to stay compliant. Now, let's think about the powerful network effect that Reklaim has, because on one side, we are probably going to see more and more users, more data sellers joining in. After all, who doesn't want to make money without lifting a finger, right? That might even sound like a scheme, like something shady, but it's true. Through Reklaim, you can make money without doing anything, just by selling your personal data. Who wouldn't like that, right? Plus, who doesn't want to know what data of theirs is out there? And I bet a lot of people watching this video have already gone to check out this app. And the more users join, the more companies and data buyers will likely come into, creating a self-sustaining growth cycle. So that's why I believe Reklaim could experience explosive growth in the future. The question now is, why did I buy this stock? Because it's not enough for a company to just have a good idea. It also needs to be able to make money from that idea. And to be a good investment, the company still has to be cheap enough. But even so, I decided to buy this stock because I think Reklaim checks all those boxes. First, because even though Reklaim is still a very small company, it is already profitable, which is something quite rare in the microcap space. Besides, this company is trading at about 2 times revenue only. I mean, 2 times revenue for a unique company with insane potential ahead, with a gross margin of 80% that is already profitable and with not much debt. I think that's pretty cheap. So that's why I bought some Reklaim shares, because I believe this might be a great company with a huge emerging market ahead and that ultimately is trading at very cheap valuation levels. Now, we will talk more about Reklaim another day here on my channel. So in case you want to follow up, I recommend you to subscribe. And also, don't forget to leave your like. Now, let's move to our second stock of the day, which is called AWRE. Its shares trade on Nasdaq, ticker symbol AWRE. and I bought $300 on the last day of 2024 at a price of $1.85. AWRE is a cybersecurity company that offers biometric solutions. You know when you log into a bank app and it asks you to take a selfie to prove it's really you. So, that's exactly what AWRE does. And even though AWRE is still a small company with a market cap of only $35 million, this company already works with some pretty big names. As we see here, among AWRE's clients, we can mention Interpol, the US Department of Defense, the Australian Department of Defense, the US Customs and Border Protection, and Itaú, one of the largest banks in Latin America. And this client list is important because it serves as a kind of validation for the quality of AWRE's products. I mean, if this company has clients like these, it's because its technology must be really solid. After all, Interpol wouldn't use a product, especially one in digital security, if it wasn't top-notch. Anyway, as we've seen, AWRE solutions are used in both commercial and government sectors. For example, while government agencies like the US Customs and Border Protection may use AWRE solutions to control access in US borders, a bank like Itaú uses their biometrics to enhance customer security. On top of that, AWRE solutions can be applied to a bunch of different areas, like education or betting sites, where it's crucial to ensure that the person placing the bets is actually the right one. But the most surprising thing here is that AWRE solutions can be used in an even broader way because biometrics are starting to replace usernames and passwords. I never thought that something as traditional as usernames and passwords could become a thing of the past, but in the future, well, we might just not use them anymore. Instead, biometrics could take over, so your face and voice could become your username and password. And AWRE is very well positioned to take advantage of this trend. Either way, I decided to start a position in AWRE because, besides liking this company's proposal, I also believe its stock is quite cheap. And again, nothing in this video is investment advice, okay? But at this price, I believe AWRE offers me a considerable margin of safety. Because think about it, AWRE's current market cap stands at about $35 million. However, since the company holds around $27 million in cash and short-term investments and only $4 million in debt, this means that AWRE's enterprise value is only around $12 million. So at the end of the day, you are paying only $12 million for a company that has Interpol and the US Department of Defense as its clients. Now, can't you see how incredibly valuable these clients are? Depending on the price, sometimes it can be totally worth it for a bigger company to acquire a smaller one like AWRE just because of the contracts it has with these giant names. So in a way, these clients are an asset for the company, for AWRE. Actually, only these clients could be worth a considerable part of AWRE's 12 million enterprise value. But then you might ask, if this company is so good, why is it so cheap? Well, if you take a look at AWRE's financials, you will see that yes, AWRE has been growing since 2020 and it boasts an incredible 90% gross margin. However, if you dig into the numbers, you will also see that this company has been reporting losses year after year. The thing is that those numbers are the best, and investing is all about the future, right? So, what do I think will happen in the future? Well, I believe we will see this company growing, maybe a lot, and eventually becoming profitable. Because while they've been cutting expenses on one hand, on the other, we might start to see significant growth for AWRE. After all, the world is becoming increasingly digital and cybersecurity is getting more and more important each passing day. So there's a macro trend here that could really drive AWRE's growth. So as biometrics becomes more popular and accessible, this could bring a lot of growth to AWRE. Moreover, AWRE has been onboarding several important clients. For example, AWRE ID, one of its products, is going to be integrated into WordPress. WordPress, for those who don't know, powers 40% of all websites out there, including mine. So now, from what I understand, everyone will have the option to add biometrics to their websites. So this could be a major growth avenue for AWRE. Additionally, they just signed a sizable deal with the European government. And when asked about the growth we can expect by the end of the year in 2024, they mentioned hitting double-digit growth and also talked about 7 more contracts. And by the way, I get access to these transcripts on Seeking Alpha, which is the research platform I use, and I will leave its link in this video's description. Anyway, that's why I believe AWRE's revenue should continue growing, due to macro factors, but also because I'm seeing more clients arriving too. So with expense reductions on one side and revenue growth on the other, I think this company could become profitable in the not-too-distant future. Because since AWRE has a very high gross margin of 90%, there will come a point where all additional growth will go straight to the bottom line as profit. And then, my friend, when that happens, I think we will see a complete repricing of the stock. So instead of trading at less than 1 times enterprise value to sales, as it currently does, we could see the stock trading at a multiple of 5, 6, or even 7 times, which would significantly drive its price higher. So, in summary, that's why I bought AWRE stock, because the way I see it, the future prospects for this company look good, and at this price, I believe this company gives me a good margin of safety. And finally, our last stock of the day. But before we talk about it, if you want to stay updated on the investment ideas I'm covering, don't forget to sign up on my website, Capital Edge Research. I usually post my content there first. For example, I wrote about Reklaim and AWRE about 2 weeks ago. Anyway, our last stock of the day is one of the biggest cannabis companies in the US, well known for its strong presence in Florida. Its name is Trulieve, and its shares trade on the US OTC market under the ticker TCNNF. And I bought $300 at $4.80. And actually, it wasn't that long ago that I talked about Trulieve. I mean, I mentioned how Trulieve was cheap about 2 weeks ago. And that's why I won't go into many details today. But I decided to start a position in Trulieve because I believe that eventually cannabis will become legal in the US at the federal level. It might take 1, 2, 5 years, but I think that eventually this will happen. And once this happens, the outlook for companies in this sector will improve a lot. And Trulieve is the name in this sector that stands out to me the most because of its high insider ownership, with CEO Kim Rivers owning a considerable stake of the company, and also because of its high margins. So in summary, I believe that Trulieve is very well positioned to monetize on this industry's boom. Moreover, I also believe that Trulieve stock is also very cheap. For example, Trulieve stock is currently trading at an enterprise value to sales of just 1.2 times, a valuation level we've never seen before for this stock. At the same time, since Trulieve has a market cap of 940 million and generated about 370 million in operating cash flow over the past 12 months, this means that Trulieve is trading at only 2.5 times operating cash flow, which for me is pretty low. So in summary, that's why I decided to buy some Trulieve shares, because I think this is a sector with huge potential, and well, Trulieve is the company within it that I think is the most interesting. So these were the 3 stocks I invested my $1,300 in. The first 2 are from the cybersecurity sector, while the last one belongs to the cannabis industry. Anyway, that's it for today, and see you next time.